Hello and welcome to how I play my level 100 warrior. Now today we're going to talk about disciplines. There's a lot. My UI has changed since the last time I did a video, and there's a lot of things to click. Like this is the low-key, probably one of the more complex decision-making processes for a class that I've encountered so far in the game. Not that it's difficult, it's just there's a lot to it, and there's a lot you can do in any situation. And since I play as the warrior, as the main character in my multi-boxing setup here, the things that I do are kind of more selected towards being able to control those things myself versus in the multi-bind where it just goes off on trigger, right? So let's talk about disciplines, right? We're gonna do this in the way that I use them, and not in like the list of spells that we just got, right? Like that's one way to do it, but I think talking about how we use these on an everyday basis is gonna be better, right? So first and foremost, at level 72, we got Final Stand. This is a timer 2. So if we look at timer 2 here, discipline. And there's a few things that go into timer 2, mostly defensive, stonewall, and that line of defensive disciplines, right? Now at 97 we got offensive discipline, which is also a timer 2, but it increases the damage by 35% versus reducing the damage by 35%. So you can pick your choice, but I go for defensive. So I have Final Stand. That's the #1 discipline I use. It lasts for a while. I have no idea why. I must have clicked it on the bar. It lasts for quite a bit, right? If we click mouse over it here, we should get a timer of some sort somewhere here. I guess not. Maybe over this thing. It lasts for, I think, what, 10 minutes and 30 seconds is what it says, but it feels like I mean, not 10 minutes, 3 minutes. It feels like it's up for longer than 3 minutes. But this is my #1 discipline for damage reduction. I hit it pretty much anytime I have more than 3 to 4 mobs in camp, right? It's always something I click just to make sure that I'm safe, right? Next up, we have Steadfast Defense. Now this one, it does go into the discipline window, so you can't overlap it with Final Stand. But this is 1 minute duration, and it lowers the or increases our armor class significantly. So if we click this one off, we're at 3206 armor class, and we click this on, we're at 35. So that's a massive mitigation increase for us right there, and it's going to really help us out. They are mutually exclusive, so you can't use them at the same time, but it is my second line of defense, that Steadfast Defense. And we do get, since it's a timer -1, but we do get them every few levels. So let me see if I can find them all here. They're named all weird throughout this whole thing, and I think they were on a different timer at a different point in time in the game, and they didn't move them all. But you can see here, Stalwart at 95, Staunch at 90. There was another one I'm almost certain of, but we got Steadfast now here at 100. And this is my secondary tier of defense. And I use that with 3 or 4 mobs. I always pop it just to make sure I'm not gonna get clobbered, right? Just, it's smart. You got to make sure you don't die, right? You are the tank. You must survive. Beyond everything else, you must survive. Then we have Brace for Impact, which is an AA version of Steadfast Defense. So it's about the same. It's not equivalent, but, well, I would say more like Final Stand, I guess. But it lowers the reduction in all the damage we take by, let's see here, struck in combat, 14% of incoming damage up to 130,000. So not too bad. right? It's a nice little reduction. It stacks with both of those defensive disciplines, so definitely something you can click at the same time. And I have these kind of like right here so I can get to them easy, because I do click everything. I tried hotkeying stuff and it just didn't work out the way I wanted. So I like to click it so I know 100% what I'm doing at that point in time. And then we have Flash of Anger. When I first got this, I thought this was a threat ability until I read it twice. And it allows you to parry every incoming attack for, I believe it is like 6 seconds. It says 6 seconds, but it feels way longer than that, right? And you can't use it while using a two-hander, but I only dual wield. I have a shield, but I have not had to use it yet in my journey so far. Maybe one day, but this, you pop this, you're just, it's like invulnerability for 6 seconds. And that is kind of like my oh shit button, right? Like if I'm about to die, right? You know, I got right about here. Whatever that's at, like 20, 10%. As soon as I get to the, like that part of my health bar, I click it and I'm good. The mercenary, my cleric, they're going to be able to get me healed up in that next 6 seconds, hopefully, if things have not gone terrible. So those are my 4 kind of defensive abilities I use most of the time. Then we have Resplendent Glory. This increases our effectiveness of incoming heals by 1 to 15. 1 to 15 percent. Now, you know, it gets better over time, but we can look at this version here. Now, I click this because sometimes the heals are just not doing enough to overcome the damage, right? You can see here I got hit for 14,000, 15,000, 12,000, 12,000, 13,000. That's what I'm fighting at right now at level 100. I'm fighting mobs that are hitting, you know, almost, let's just say 10% of my health. Now, I'm going to do something crazy. I'm going to click off all my buffs. You can see how many hit points I actually have. And you'll be like, what? Let's just start clicking them all off here. You see my health just dropping. Warrior's Instinct, let's click that off. Let's click off. Am I far enough away from my cleric? No, his aura is down too. End of Will, I don't know what that is. Let's click off the mount. Let's click off Jan's Veil. Let's click off dual wielding. All right, so all my buffs are off. Let's click off Commanding Force. Everything over here. Field Guardian. Champion's Aura. Every single buff's off. We have 95,000 hit points. I'm being hit for more than 10% of my unbuffed health, right? So being able to click Resplendent Glory really helps out in the fact that my cleric, who with his level 100 spells for healing, he's only healing me for 7,600, maybe 9,500 if I'm lower than 20%, 11,000, maybe 13,000 if I'm under 20%. So there's not a lot of healing coming. It's, you know, I might get healed for 7,000. Now he's gonna get the cleric's gonna have his own modifiers to boost that raw damage, but if I'm getting hit for 13,000 and I'm getting healed for 7,000, you know, there's a big disconnect there, right? Now if we look at his past damage here, we're gonna do a video where we go out and fight stuff and look at stuff. Let me see here if I can find. No, it's just all the spam from that, so we're not gonna see any of that. But you know, you can see like I'm getting hit hard, so it helps a lot. And I click it as much as I can in certain situations. It's a 15-minute reuse, but definitely worth using. All right, let's see here. What else do I use? Now in my multi-bind, so this is like my spam button. I spam this all the time. I have my assist, right? So attack on, so I turn on attack. Pet attack, pet swarm, merc assist. Now I use a healer mercenary, so auto assist doesn't really fucking do anything. I would like it to, but it doesn't. So it's totally unfortunate. I probably could remove that from there, but the mercenary will heal me no matter what. Even if I'm out pulling, she will heal me with Merc Assist off and her not on auto assist. So that is problematic. I would consider it a bug in the game, but here we are. So my multi-bind is taunt. I taunt on command on no delay on that because there is an AA. I think it's Shearing Glen. Yeah. Sneering Grin enabled, right? So this will give our taunt ability passively a chance with a 90% bonus to do Sneering Grin, which gives us an extra 9,000 hatred. Now, I'm in a constant battle for hatred, right? Now, I think in the olden game, people said don't taunt unless you don't have aggro, right? Well, I don't believe that has ever been true. You always want to go above the next person, right? And I've never, especially in the early game, way before all these new expansions came out, I never had an issue, or I was never able to successfully in consecutive way pull aggro off somebody by pushing the taunt button, right? It's always been, maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. Now I just do it on cooldown because one, it's an easy multi-bind button, and two, now I get an extra 9100 threat on the target I'm fighting. Now that is crazy because that is a lot of threat. And if you think about it, for this entire series that I've been doing Hobbs and Friends, I've been struggling to keep aggro off my healer mercenary. She out heals any damage I get, and I cannot pull aggro off her for the life of me until recently. And this ability, Sneering Grin, I would say helps a lot with that, especially now that that we have it at 100. It is a very nice ability. Next up, we have Stormwheel Blades, which is an AoE attack. Now, I have all my AoE attacks in my multi-bind to probably, some people's disgust, but to my betterment of being able to AoE aggro things without having to put effort into it. This Stormwheel Blades does an AoE attack. I don't even know how much damage it does. It's not important. The damage means nothing. It's also an infuriating attack, so it's going to give me threat, and it's going to hit 30 enemies. Now, I'm not fighting 30 enemies, right, unless they're like level 1. But anything around me in my circle is going to get hit. And sometimes I like to pop this. Warlord's Fury. So this one blesses me with a, whatever my target is, gets 1,000 hatred, right? And then all my actions will generate 80% more hatred. So and it also what is that, 25%? So every time I do Stormwheel Blades, I will get AoE threat on everything around me. And this Warlord's Fury lasts for what, 1 minute, or it's reusable every 1 minute and 30 seconds with a 30-second duration, I guess. So during that time, I can pull AoE threat on everything without having to use Rampage and without having to use Area Taunt, which I save for specific situations, right? Typically, I'll do Warlord's Fury while I'm spamming my multi-bind, and then I'll do a Rampage, and then if that's still not enough, then I will do the Area Taunt. Rampage just being an AoE attack that hits all creatures in 40 feet, and Area Taunt being a AoE taunt version that taunts everything in a 40-foot radius and giving me an extra 9,000 hatred. And I've had it where if I just AoE taunt without doing Fury or anything else, I won't even pull the mob off a mercenary. It's pretty crazy, but definitely something to consider there. Next up, I have Knee Strike. We got this way back when, and it's just, active. It's just an extra kick. It does 250 damage, reduces their avoidance. It's a nice little debuff, 30-second reuse. So it's, nice to just spam, right? Then we have Ridicule, which, let's see here. You scowl. You scowl at your opponent, inciting 87, 57 hatred, and reflecting ridicule recourse on them, which reduce incoming damage, right? So it's a nice debuff on the mob we're fighting. It's a 30-second reuse, so it's pretty much up every fight, and I just have it in my multi-bind, so I don't have to worry about extra buttons. Battle Leap. Now, Battle Leap is an interesting ability. You had to activate it every time you zoned, and to get this passive 40% extra damage. But now you don't. So I still do it on cooldown because I like the jump. 1, 2, it does 52,000 damage every time I jump and stun something. I wish it was AoE. I think it would be kind of cool. You know, you jump up, you hit the ground, it kind of does, 52,000 to everything within that, radius, right? I think that'd be kind of cool. The 10 feet in front of your target, I don't believe that. I've jumped, I don't even know how far. Let me see if I can trigger it here. We'll jump on that guy right there, right? Battle Leap. That's more than 10 feet, so it doesn't make sense at all. I've tab targeted something and I've flown across the screen. So it is definitely a fun ability. I just wish it did that damage to the area around me when I land, causing that extra AoE hatred, building that momentum and making it a little bit more fun, right? Like if I'm jumping on something, right? Like if you see a gnome jumping at you, I mean, you're gonna be a little bit afraid, and it's gonna be kind of nice. Shield Topple. So this, I don't believe we got another upgrade from this. If we did, I missed it. No, we haven't. Now, when I first got this, I thought I had to have a shield on to use it, but apparently you do not have to have a shield on to use this, and it slams a shield that we don't have into our opponent, inflicting damage and knocked him off balance. So this is kind of interesting, right? Like, I don't have a shield on, but schwacky, I just hit him with a shield topple, right? Smashed. Where's my smashing over here? And it does, 5,000 damage plus whatever else it did. So it's a nice little extra attack. I do it on cooldown. It's a 15-second reuse. Burns a little stamina, but I think it's worth it. And then I think it was at 100. We got this one, Imperator's Command. I don't know how to say the word, but whatever. Now, I did not know warriors got this ability, but this is quite the ability here. This is a 3-minute reuse for a how long does this last? It doesn't say. Everybody in the group, 1 gets 35, reduces the casting time of spells with a cost of 35 by cost, reduces the cast time of spells with mana by 35%. Right, so 1, everybody gets a little spell haste. That's nice, right? Increases your chance to trigger magical effects from buffs, abilities, and skills during melee, 3% extra. So I'm gonna proc 3% more. My buffs that do procs, I'm gonna do a 3% more. Increases my health by 9,500. Increases the attack speed by 35%. Increases the armor class by 30. Mana regeneration by 375, and endurance regeneration by 110. Now, I have this in my multi-bind. I would consider this a mini Paragon that is very nice to have, because everybody in the group gets that. Now, I'm running a cleric, so we already have spell haste from the cleric right here with, I believe it's this one, Hand of the Will. I don't think it ever gets upgraded again. But between the two of those, we hit the spell haste cap, right? So that is kind of nice. Along with, the Bard's quick time, giving a little bit extra in there, right? So it's a nice little ability. If it was longer than 10 minutes, I'd put it in the burn button, but it's 3 minutes. I'm going to do this on cooldown. That's generating endurance for everybody, mana for everybody, and keeping me buffed and very nice. So I do that on cooldown. And then we have War Sheol's Heroic Blade. Now this is a 19-minute duration reused at the moment, and all intents and purposes I should put this in my burn button, but I noticed at the next level it goes to 18. And I'm going to assume it keeps going down to at least a decent amount because we're only at 3 at 11. And I have not looked up where this ends up. But this is a nice ability because it does, 3 two-handed slashing attacks, right? So, 2,300 to 2,800 damage. And then it blesses me with Heroic Rage, increasing my melee speed, chance I'm going to hit, but with a critical by 35%, and all the damage and my critical melee damage by 150%. This is pretty nice, a little ability if I don't say so myself. Definitely something I want to use a lot. So it's in my multi-button. I just use it on cooldown. Maybe at 125 I might move it into exclusively the burn button, but we'll see. But right now I feel confident where it is with how it is, just because the way I play. Now, Roar of Challenge, which is the next thing I have here. I used to have this on a clicky over here, but I wasn't clicking it enough. And I haven't, I don't know, let me try it on this guy right here. But in the mobs I've been fighting, I haven't seen it actually debuff them in any way. You can see there's no debuff on the target. So I don't really, I don't really know, but it lowers the accuracy of the 3 nearby targets, right? But it also is an AoE taunt, so it's kind of nice. It's a 30-second reuse. I feel like it's kind of, it's worth just doing it on cooldown. And I mean, if it was more than, it was a longer than 1 minute, I probably wouldn't. But here we are. And then Lionhearted Rally Cry, which it says it terrifies or impedes enemies. I don't know. I don't really know. It's got a little target on it. So whenever it pops up, I try to click it, right? So it's kind of like I spam the button and I click it. But it's one of those things. I'm gonna actually move that out of there for now. Let's see, what is this one? No, that one's so this one here, this is another one we got. I haven't really done much with this one yet. Warrior's Auspice increases the generates hatred from the target, right? A lot of the things we do is hatred but generation. And then it absorbs some melee damage. I don't really know where I want to put this yet. It's a 0-second duration. It says, let me see, I'm gonna click it. All right, it's actually a 3-minute duration. And it will absorb 75% of any strike in excess of 18,000 up to that. So that's actually good information, right? So if we look here, my biggest hit that I got in the last fight I did was 15,000. So this would not have done anything for me. It would not have done anything for me at all, because it just doesn't, the hit has to go over. Like the way these in excess of, they're like Enchanter gets some runes like this too, where it says, it gives you a number, and the number has to be, your hit has to be larger than that number. So if I got hit for 20,000, this would absorb everything over 1850 or 18,500, right? And then it would subtract it from the 77,000. So it's nice when you're getting hit really, really hard, but I wasn't getting hit really, really hard at the moment. Now, maybe in like raids, you would use this in Era, but not with normal mobs. So, all right. I just have it there for for clicking purposes. Now that covers like all of those. That covers the multi-bind. Now everything else is just situational clicking. In all honesty, I pull at the moment with Klondar's Roar, which is our current level Roar. It's a timer 8. Counteract, with all the, I think it goes all the way back to Provoke back at early levels. A Rampage, I use this for AoE taunting. AoE taunt, I use that for AoE taunting. And then Harassing Shout, this is just another taunt ability. I had nowhere else to put it. Put it there on numpad 4. So I have, three taunts on one hand, and then everything else is clicky. So we also have Fortitude, which goes all the way back to Kunark, and it gives us a chance to evade attacks. We have Furious, which uses the same timer as Fortitude, but it allows us to riposte. Depending on the situation, if like Steadfast and Final Standard down, that's probably where I'd go next defensive-wise. Just depends what I need. Tumultuous Defense Discipline. This is just every time we get attacked, we have a chance to stun them, so it's kind of neat. Current level, it got updated again. Now let's see if we see the other timer 7. So we had Shocking Defense. I've been using that, and I just didn't realize, didn't notice it ever doing anything, right? Like, it's hard to notice. But they did update it at 100, so that's very interesting there. Then we have Aggressive Discipline, which is a timer 4, which kind of is the culmination of all the aggressive ones we had before for damage. With Precision, Charge, Mighty Strike, and Fell Strike. I haven't ever used it, in all honesty. I mostly just focus on taking damage and not dealing damage, so it's not really a big deal. I mean, I'm so buffed most of the time that I have damage shields that do more damage than I'm going to do at all, so it doesn't really matter. We just got this one, Offensive Discipline, which counteracts Final Stand. So it increases our melee damage, but makes me take 35% more damage. I can't imagine many places I would want to use this, but it's there just in case. Then we have Rage, which increases our base melee damage by 15%. And let's see here, reduces the effectiveness of instant duration heals. So you know, we're going to take more damage there. And then we have Armor of Stalwart Runes, which just gives us a runes every time we take damage. Brutal Onslaught. I don't believe there's an upgrade to this. Yeah, not yet. And this is just another, you know, increases our criticals and gives us crippling blows for 30 seconds. Nice extra damage if you can use it. But it does take a discipline slot, so it's kind of painful there sometimes. And then we get Mark the Mage Killer, which I pop it whenever I'm fighting stuff that does a lot of magic stuff. You know, it reduces a little bit of damage, I feel like, but I don't have any proof that it actually does anything. Let's see here. And then we have a whole bunch of these Warlord things. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. These are all little buffs we get. So this one heals us for 48,000 and increases our maximum health by 45,000. Fury, this is the one I use for generating extra threat. Bravery reduces the incoming damage by 14% for 36 seconds. Resurgence heals us for 10,000, increases our health regeneration by 400 and our endurance regeneration by 8. I think the endurance regeneration is new on this rank too. Then Weapon Covenant. This is just our current level. We get a few of these. Increases our proc rate, but it also counteracts with our runes of Stalwart Defense and a few other timer 5 disciplines. So you gotta pick and choose a lot of the time, but you know, if I want to proc more, I'm gonna click that because timer 5 and the runes is like not gonna counteract with Final Stand. So, you know, it's just a balancing and you got to keep it all in your head. Let's see here. Jab Through. Now, this one, I don't believe there's an upgrade to it from what I can tell. It doesn't look like it. They stopped upgrading it. Well, it lets you go through the defenses of your opponent, which is kind of neat, but it does waste a discipline slot. So I didn't like it when I used it. And then we have Blast of Anger, Ageless, Gut Punch, Warlord's Grasp, and Unbroken Attention, all of which are single target taunts in some form or fashion. You know, right? They all have their different flair. Like Gut Punch reduces accuracy, Grasp pulls them towards me, Unbroken Attention increases my armor class and generate more hatred, right? So it just depends. You know, I just cycle through whatever and click what I need to. I think that's everything. That's all of those. Now, like I have a clicky here. It's prominent. This is the Unified Phoenix Feather. So this will clicky at level 100, I believe, right? No, guess not yet. It's on my bar. I'm ready for it as soon as I can click it. 110 when I can click it. There. All right, so we'll talk about it then, but it's there just in case I need it. So that's, you know, a very nice item to have. I just picked up this. I can't use it yet. The Violet Conch of the Tempest, which will increase our armor class. So, and it should stack with everything, so it's pretty nice. You want to click your familiar at all times. And let me see if I can get these buff slots in the right order here. You want to make sure you always have your mount buff on. That's very important. Let's see if I can get the familiar in the top slot there. And you want to make sure you have your illusion buff. I have Jan's Veil. So you want to make sure what you have, whatever illusion buff you have. You know, you can see we're up to 102,000 hit points now. And stuff like that. Always have the champion's aura on. It is a very nice aura. It increases our chance to trigger weapon effects, and it gives us a little bit more armor. So, kind of nice there. We also have Field Guardian, which increases the group's armor class. It's a 9-minute duration now, so it's not too bad about re-clicking and then commanding voice. This one goes over here too. This one is allows you to dodge more. So very nice little abilities to have up at all times. I do have macros here for shielding for my characters that I box with. Now shielding should allow me to take the damage of the person being hit. So I just X target their number and shield them, and theoretically I'll take their damage, but I have not yet been able to use it because I always forget about it. Then I have hot buttons for bandolier, for dual wield and shield, but I've been dual wield this entire playthrough pretty much. Rest, endurance regeneration under 21%. Second wind, more endurance regeneration, but it costs a little bit, so depends on what you want to do there. Let's talk about the burn. So the burn is Spire of the Warlord, Warlord's Fury, Rage of the Rattle of the Zek, Projection of Fury, right? More damage, more hatred, more procs, and more hatred via a pet that summons to generate hatred, right? And then burn 2 is Breastplate, which we just got the current level breastplate right here. Warlord's Instinct. You enter a state of awareness, allowing you to avoid 35% of incoming physical damage, 1800 max per hit, up to 90,000 damage. So, you know, nice little defensive buff there. Then we have Blood Drinker's Coating, which we should be able to click this one at this point. I've had it there forever. Yeah, level 100. This gives us Vampiric Aura, which is a nice little 2% life tap every time we hit. So, I mean, we hit for 20,000, we get healed for quite a bit. So it's pretty nice. It adds up. Then we have Signet of Gnar. I don't think I can click this one yet, but I guess I can. So this gives me a Circle of Life, increasing everybody's healing in my group. It's a like a second aura, I think. You see there. So I have a second aura now, and I can give that to everybody in the group. So it's pretty nice to have. I have it there just in case I don't have it up normally, but just depends on kind of like what your process is. I'm gonna actually put it over here so I can make sure I rebuff it every time. Let's see here, this one. So it's a nice little clicky to have. I have no earthly idea where I got it, in all honesty. It was just in my bag one day. Let's see, Signet Guard. And then we have Blade Guardian, which summons a guardian to protect us. So if we die, it gives us the ability to parry for what is it? Drop below 40%. We have 86% chance to parry. It's very nice. Now I pair this with the Divine Interposition, right? Which every time I get to the point I'm gonna die, I'm gonna come back to life. So this, you know, some pairing between the cleric there with that, so it's kind of nice. But that's what I burn right now. Glyph, I don't have any AAs to blow on the glyph yet, but I have Intensity Resolute there for now. And that's it. That is the warrior in a 35-minute nutshell. There's not much else I use. Like it's all situational, clicking on, you know, what I click and what I do. It's very reactive to what's currently going on, except for whatever's in the multi-bind that just gets spammed. When I'm spamming that, it makes the healer heal and the bard do bard things. So every time I push a button, something happens. So it just depends on a lot of things there, but not much else. Now, gear wise, the best gear you can get at level 100 is castaway gear. This is from the Darkened Sea. We farmed up the entire set over the grinding from 95 to 100, and I think we did a 100 together, and definitely it's a nice set, way better than the previous gear. Now you're gonna want 2 aggro weapons. At least I want 2 aggro weapons. I don't know what you want, but this is Force of Anger, so this gives me 540 damage nuke and anger, and this one's this is the previous version. You can see this is like the current level 1, and this is that. I bought this one for like 1,000 platinum on the FB Bazaar, and I farmed this one up at some point in, I think, the first part of the Hobbs and Friends series when I was a Shadow Knight. You can see like it, like I don't have as much damage on the offhand, but it's definitely not the reason why I use it. Now I don't think I have one anymore. I might have gave it to Tawani. Let me see here. She has so much junk in her bags. I gotta figure it out. Maybe this one. No, that's something else. Yeah, I don't think I thought I gave it to her. I might have thrown it on one of my mules to sell. But there's another axe, like a life tap axe I was thinking about using, but at the same time I need the hatred. I feel like I need every single proc to give me something back in that sense. Now these procs do damage, so I'm not really losing damage, right? It's not like the Angering Blow from like Blood Frenzy or Blade of Carnage, right? This is actual damage proc. It's not as much damage as, you know, the melee ones. Like what's the melee one doing here? Strike of Venom 360, 280. So I mean, it's even doing even more damage. So not too bad there. And they have high AC, so it's, you know, really pushes it up, right? Like almost don't even need a shield, because like these ones 69 AC. It's 90 AC, or yeah, well, I guess they're the same AC in Era. Oh, well, that sucks. But yeah, so that's that. You also want an Angering Mask with Echoing Anger. I'm using the level 91 because I have not gotten a better one yet, but when I do, I will replace it. I'm moving to a bow, so right now I have Roar as my pull ability. I'm going to switch to a bow. I think that's going to probably make things a little easier. Mostly with the 210 range is going to be a little bit better and more forgiving for pulling than whatever the hell this is, because it's too short of a range. So I just need to get some arrows, and we'll try that out. Now the downside is that I don't think I can use my stone tier with that, which is kind of weird, but we got to upgrade that thing anyway, so maybe I don't need an arrow in there to pull. But we'll see when we get to that point. But there we go. That is the warrior in a nutshell at 105, or at 100. Jeez, I can't even talk anymore. Now, there's going to be a video after the cleric video about how I play them all together. We're going to go to Licinium, which is hard content for these characters at this moment. And we'll see how well we can survive there in 105 content at 100. I think pushing that is going to be the right decision to go and try, because we went through level 100 content and steamrolled it without even thinking about it. So we'll see how it goes at the next level. But there you go. Thank you very much for watching. If you stayed this far and like the content, please like the video. I will definitely appreciate that. And if you want to subscribe, feel free to subscribe. Thank you very much for watching, and please have a fantastic day.